gonna start.
No.
Mom, she almost got this in her mouth. Can you drop some?
What are you looking at? I wonder if they hear me chewing. Bye, Miss Parker. How you doing? Mm-hmm. Hey, Miss Trina, how you doing? How you doing? I'm well, I'm well, I'm well. And I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I did a podcast interview with Leon Rogers. It was a dope podcast for my Dick Gregory Taught Me podcast. So I was supposed to do this yesterday, but that was 4 hours. But I'm here today. Tomorrow is city council meeting, 10 a.m. Then there's a budget meeting that's right after that. So just let y'all know that. Just let y'all know that. It's cold outside. Definitely it's cold outside. Ooh. I'm fasting starting Monday. Fasting. Got to get prepared for the new year. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do it. I think they got me shadow banned on YouTube. I was getting like hella followers when I first started. I mean, hella views. And then I think they shadow banned a person. So I ain't tripping, but I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. So, but the information got to get out there anyway, and it's got to get out there. So this is how I got to get it out there. Yeah, cause I'm trying to tell you, like I was getting good views when I first started. Then all of a sudden now it goes down. Like it doesn't make it. It's not adding up. You know. You know. They don't want us to get ahead. They don't want the information to be out there. You know. They don't want the information to be out there. They don't want us to unite and think and start doing things that make sense that we should have been doing a long time ago. They don't want that. So they shadow ban people. Got you. uncomfortabletruth.lifestyle.com has the shirts. If you're in Chicago and I got your size, I can meet up with you or send it to you. We gotta hit up lizo23@gmail.com. That's how that works. Um, so tonight I'm gonna be talking about Tony Prackwinkle works for lawyers who told her to do this. Do what? What's she doing? She ain't doing nothing. None of them is doing nothing. They all terrible. But tonight we're gonna talk about this Invest Southwest money. We're gonna talk about these housing bonds that Brandon Johnson literally basically took the money that was supposed to be allocated for Invest Southwest and put it in these housing bonds and try to build affordable housing on a quickly basis to house these illegals because they already knew what it was, you know. Um, that's how that works. So back in April, Chicago City Council approved a 1.5 billion bond issuance aiming to refinance high interest bonds and saving approximately $110 million. This move was part of a strategy for responsible debt management, will replace older costly bonds with new ones at lower interest rates. The refinancing plan was expected to reduce the average interest rate from 5.62% to about 3.75%, generating significant savings, and the actual savings would depend on market conditions. As you see, these market conditions is terrible. Like terrible. Okay. Um, I believe that Brandon Johnson was trying to show face because he already knew that we were already in a $1 billion deficit. Everybody was confident that the Democratic Party was going to win this election. Let it been Biden or Kamala, they were confident that this was going to happen. So they were stealing and not worrying about um, certain things when it came to taking the bonds or taking this money um, out of um, out of Invest Southwest because it really wasn't for. It's supposed to have been for minority owned, but it really wasn't because they already had took some housing bonds and gave it to Conway, um, Conway, the Alderman's ward for South Loop, LaSalle. They gave, um, I got to get the total amount in bond, but I know they gave $98 million in TIF money. But this is the bond, the housing bond money that was taken from Invest Southwest. The City of Chicago's bond refinancing plan would include over 40% minority underwriter representation, highlighting the city's commitment to equitable financial practices. Now, you already know they don't do anything that's equitable at all. That minority is not for black underwriters at all. Okay? At all. The bond is expected to be issued in late 2024, taking advantage of favorable market conditions. This approach aligns with previous transactions and aims to ensure the minority firms are involved in significant financial decisions. They always use the minority, the people of color, the black and brown, when it comes to having to have to show face or show that you're doing it the way that you're supposed to do it in order to get the TIF money or the bond money. So they'll go find, these white developers will go find a token minority, either being a black man or a white woman or a lesbian white woman. That's how that works. Um, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time. So we don't barely get any of these bids when it comes to housing, anything or affordable housing or anything like this. That's for show. That minority, that people of color, that black and brown, that woman thing. Nah, we barely getting this stuff. at all. We're not getting it at all. And it's been happening for a long time. And you got people that come down there. There's a couple of black developers that come down there and they pitch a good, they pitch a good proposal. Hey, what we're trying to do, we want to create jobs to help, the black youth stay out of trouble and all this stuff. I mean, they come with the good stuff. They don't even sit and talk with them. They don't even sit and talk with them black developers because they already made up their mind. They already made up their mind what they gonna do. They've never, the city never, ever, 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 it's never in their plans to clean up the south side and the west side unless they take the whole south side and west side and just give it to the white developer, which they're slowly trying to do. They're slowly trying to do this. So, the 1.25 billion that he took from Southwest, it's supposed to aim to address affordable housing and economic development in the city's south and west sides over the next 5 years. Now, I'll be real honest with you. $1.2 billion is not even enough money for both sides because it was 2.2 billion. So I want to know where the other money is from the Invest Southwest. But $1.2 billion, $1.25 billion is still not enough money. So the initiative seeks to fill gaps left by tax increment financing programs, money laundering, ensuring that communities that have long been underinvested benefit from more targeted support. This move signals and shifts towards addressing housing affordability and boosting economic opportunities in this historically marginalized area. Now, former Mayor Lori Lightfoot launched the Invest Southwest initiative to promote equity through $250 million in DPT funds, Department of Plan and Development funds, for commercial and affordable housing development in underinvested South and West Side neighborhoods. Additionally, her administration allocated over $1 billion to affordable housing, funding 24 developments and nearly 2,500 units. These efforts were designed to attract both and private investment to support equitable growth in these areas. Yeah, now that sounded all good. Sounded all great. Right? Now, well, Mayor Brandon Johnson basically said the same thing he just took it out the Invest Southwest money. Brandon Johnson's $1.25 billion housing bond aims to address Chicago's South and West Side disparities by funding affordable housing and economic development over 5 years. The initiative builds on former Mayor Lori Lightfoot's Invest Southwest program, which faced delays but focused on equity through commercial and housing development. The reason why it faced delays was she didn't get back in office, and she was going to probably give all of this to Ken Griffin. We're going to be talking about him later, but she basically was going to give probably all of the development stuff to Ken Griffin, because that was a guy that was funding a lot of things in Chicago. That was the money man. He was the money man. We're going to get into him, though. So they were saying, as far as the major, Sterling Bay too, yep. The major milestones about the Invest Southwest was over $2.2 billion in public and private commitments was donated to the program, in 2019. So that's right before COVID hit. That money was for funding commercial development, housing project, infrastructure improvements. This was supposed to put This money should have been south. The west side and south side should be pretty much looking decent, and it's still not. So the money never was the issue. Clearly, it's never the issue with the government. When the government want to fund something or do something, they gonna have the money for it. Now, when it's time to pay you your money, when it comes to the government owing you, that's when stuff get real tricky and weird. But when they want to fund stuff like Invest Southwest and get other people to invest in stuff and just give it to them, just how they do it. You see what I'm saying? So they started with Austin United Alliance Project. That was a $47 million mixed-use development, 5200 West Chicago Ave. It features 78 mixed-income housing. See, that mixed-income housing also is a code word to you're not no black people. Okay, no black people. You're gonna have to get. They may take Section 8. They may not, depending on who the person is coming with the Section 8 voucher. Because they act like they don't know the Fair Housing Act, but they do know the Fair Housing Act. But they do the mixed income housing because that's the only way they can get the TIF money. They gotta at least have a certain percentage of public housing or mixed income, housing, but basically public housing because they done knocked all the projects down and displaced all these people. So they want to do the whole little mixed income for certain people, and you may qualify, you may not, but majority of the time, as a black person, you're not qualifying. Your CHA voucher for some reason doesn't work in these mixed income housing units that's downtown, that's on South Loop, Bronzeville area, Hyde Park area. It only works in the hood. See it, the voucher. But it's supposed to be for stuff like this. So that mixed income, that's a warning sign. A financial institution, so more likely maybe a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America, so you can get your mortgage from them and then they steal your house. After you done paid it, another financial crisis, same thing. Put these same banks that been doing mortgage fraud for who knows long in our community, and we still give them our money, our time, our social security number, all of our tax information, everything like that. After Wells Fargo done showed you so many times how much they care about black people, but they always throw a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America or somebody in our communities to prey on us and all that. Then you got the business incubator and community art space, right. Then they did the CDOT Streetscape project, a $26 million. Thank you for the tip donation. Thank you, appreciate it. CDOT Streetscape project, a $26 million effort to enhance. You gotta listen to these words. A $26 million effort to enhance Chicago Avenue with wider sidewalks, trees, lighting, bike lanes, and traffic safety features. $26 million for the Invest Southwest that was supposed to be for the South Side, West Side, blighted areas, and you want to give a $26 million for wider sidewalks, some trees, lighting, bike lanes, and traffic safety features. $26 million. This is what I'm. This the problem. That's the problem. Thank you for the donation. Now, Mayor Lightfoot announced an expanded focus beyond commercial corridors to include residential infill development. Key goals include increasing population growth in these neighborhoods by transforming vacant lots into livable spaces. Do you know how many vacant lots the city of Chicago, the South Side and the West Side got? The South Side got so many vacant lots, right? So many vacant lots that they decided to make ours a vacant lot because they just wanted when they want a lot, they want a lot. They don't care what it is, they want a lot. But you see how many vacant lots is on the South Side? See how many abandoned buildings is on the South Side? But they decided that they wanted our lot without the building on there because if you're not going to, at the end of the day, y'all done put it in a nonprofit. So y'all some smart Negroes. I didn't know y'all were this smart. So now we just got to knock it down in the name of building violations because they just want the lot. All these lots, what they end up giving it to, dollar lots and stuff, who they end up giving it to? These developers. Let me tell you how crazy this stuff is. When the migrants first came here, right? When they first started coming here, they were all over the place. Everything was weird, stuff like that. There was a lot of Hispanic women coming into City Hall and going up to the buildings department, right? And they would give them a list. They would get a guy at the front a list. And it'd be all these addresses. All these addresses. The guy prints out the stuff, gives her the information. It's all about all these addresses. So in my mind, I'm thinking that's all the houses on the South Side. Maybe by the lake. That's probably all seniors on all senior addresses on there. Now she about to go get us to some white developer. Got her driving around. You know, this one realtor told me that she was dating this guy, and the guy will go up to the seniors' houses, knock on the door, say they want to, take care of their roof or something like that. Give them some money to take care of their roof, or offer them a $20,000 check in order for them to sign they lease over, they deed over, or something like that, and then they go and take out another mortgage. Another mortgage. Now your grandmama ain't got her home. Because this man that came and knocked on her door, offered her some money, praying on her, kept coming over until she finally gave the deed, signs the deed over. Next thing you know, you get a second mortgage out on the house. And then there go your illegal foreclosures. But it's a legal foreclosure, but then it's, damn, they took advantage of this person. Try to go back and catch up with this person is kind of hard. So now you're trying to save your grandmother's home, but the bank done already sold it to the city done already auctioned it off, and now one of these developers like, what them slumlords, Draper and Kramer, okay, was the one in Hyde Park. They taking over all of Hyde Park. That slumlord of a real estate, University of Chicago's doing it, because you got people like that come in there and do stuff like that. One other thing, Mac Properties. Yeah, Mac Properties out there. Mac Property does it. They are the prime example. Mac Properties. Yeah. Okay. So, also with the Invest Southwest, You're supposed to be able to get access to the block builder portal, but you can't do that because they already got. Yep, they already got the people who they gonna give the land to and stuff. I got people be like, well, no, you gotta sign up or you gotta do this or you gotta do that. Nah, that's if they gonna get that to us, who they gonna get that to, they gonna get that to who they gonna get that to. That's just what they do. There's too many people that have tried. They got the money. That's trying to get lots, trying to get lots, and it's always something. It's always something. Like it's always something when it's time for us to get this TIF money. It's always something. Now, the Invest Southwest money was supposed to go to Auburn Grisham. That's where the city. That's where our building was knocked down. Auburn Grisham. Austin, Bronzeville, Greater Englewood, Greater Roseland, Humboldt Park, North Lawndale, New City, South Chicago, and South Shore. Why does South LaSalle and the Loop got TIF money? Then they just got TIF money, $98 million TIF money, and they just got some Invest Southwest money in the name of these housing bonds that Brandon Johnson put out. The money that was supposed to be in Invest Southwest was supposed to go to Auburn Grisham, Austin, Bronzeville, Greater Englewood, Greater Roseland, Humboldt Park, North Lawndale, New City, South Chicago, and South Shore. Why does South LaSalle got TIF money and Invest Southwest money? That don't say nothing about South Loop. That don't say nothing about the financial district. But nobody don't say nothing. Nobody don't ask no questions. Another money. I mean, they spent $280 million on some streetscapes in the 12 quarters. $280 million. You invest across 12 corridors for better sidewalks, lighting, bike lanes, and public spaces. Again, $280 million. Well, where are the better sidewalks? Where's the lighting? Where's the bike lane? Where's the public spaces? For $280 million, it's given epidemiology. It's given epidemiology. Now, since 1950, those neighborhoods that I just told y'all about have lost over 500,000 residents. So the initiative to the host Invest Southwest was to attract new residents through improved housing and infrastructure. So who are going to be your new residents? Because you're displacing the black residents that's there. Who are the new residents that you were attracting on the south side in those areas? The mixed income. Y'all done knocked down all the projects over here on the south side. Y'all done promised people that they can come back. Y'all don't do any of that.
Just walk on through. Charlie, shut up.
So I'm just trying to understand. Who's the new residents that y'all was trying to attract, and y'all basically not like who? Because even when the illegals came over here, y'all the money was gone. Then it was supposed to be prioritizing minority-led developers and affordable housing to ensure existing residents benefit from these efforts. That's a lie. They can't do no money. It will never be a minority-led developer. That's not how that works here. There's nothing black-led in the city of Chicago. They can't do nothing. They then sold themselves out. Okay, these are in the great words of Alderwoman Arana Troutman. We some hoes. Politics is some hoes. Politicians is some hoes. Yeah. So they can't do nothing. So there's nothing black led here. It sounds good, but it's nothing black led here. They said the community committees will guide efforts in housing, arts, culture, and economic development. You know what? Even when I'm starting to notice, even with these affordable housing and these new developments and stuff like that, in the black communities, where is the basketball courts? Where are the basketball courts at? They don't never talk about they putting up a basketball court. They don't put a basketball court up in the high rises downtown. Where that's the problem now. People keep talking about the NBA is not the same. Well, clearly they don't want clearly America don't want black people to play basketball no more. Like somebody said, the the uh, the NBA filled with mulattoes. And I don't have no issue with that. It is what it is. But they ain't jumping high enough. They ain't doing nothing. So I'm just saying, like, where is the sports? Like, when y'all talk about housing, arts, everybody don't want to be an artist. Everybody don't want to be an artist. Where the trades at? Pretty soon, who is going to be plumbers? Who is going to be who gonna be an electrician? Who? This is crazy. Gentrification is a concern. But it's not even like it's like enough is enough. Like we ain't gonna fight back at all. Like we just gonna let them take over every neighborhood. They don't care about community. I hate to say it, but a lot of these non-black people hate community. And the ones that do like community or like stuff like that, they're in the suburbs. They know their neighbors. They are part of the PTA. They're part of the housing, the HOAs out there. That's different. It's the suburbs. They like that type of stuff. They like the gossiping and the holiday parties when they talk about their husbands cheating, but they don't care because as long as he's paying the bills and stuff like that, like you're dealing with the suburban women that they want to stay there. They know their kids are in AAU. They're doing the swimming thing. They're apart. They're in the suburbs. What we have in our community was the same thing. It's just urban. And when urban meaning it's just the city vibe, the flavor. We always going to do something. Then when you have the communities that are like the Beverleys, parts of Hyde Park and stuff like that, that's still everybody know each other. You moving in with these apartment building condominiums, all this weird stuff, you losing community. Like, this is a problem. This is not, they don't want they don't want us to police our communities. They don't want us to know each other. They don't want us to save our kids. They don't want us to have mentors with our kids. They don't want us to know each other. They don't want us to be able to go to the grocery store right there, and be able to know your neighbors in the grocery store, or have your kids run to the grocery store for you, or create little jobs. Like back in the day, your neighbors used to be like, oh, if you run to the store, I'll give you $5 if you run to the store, or you go get this for me, I'll give you the change. Go to the corner. Like they don't want us to do any of that. They give us all this weird stuff about affordable housing, mixed income housing, all of this stuff that don't have nothing to do with us. Won't give us none of these construction jobs. Won't let us do these construction jobs, but you want to bring this stuff over to our community. And we're supposed to just continue to deal with it. Invest Southwest is posed to bring significant and lasting change to Chicago's south and west sides. With an expanded focus on housing, public-private partnerships, and community-driven projects, it aims to transform neglected neighborhoods into thriving, inclusive communities. By addressing the root causes of this investment, the initiative could potentially help Chicago regain population and economic. But you want the Chicago to get more population, but you don't care about the black population leaving. You don't care about the black population leaving, and that's a problem. You know, y'all always sit and talk about Lori Lightfoot was better than Brandon Johnson. No, they was neck to neck. She probably was worse. He just don't know what he know. He don't know what he's doing. But she sucked. She was terrible. She was selling us out to Ken Griffin. She was selling us out to the Jews. She didn't care about this. She was talking crazy. Yeah, they saying this. She was worse than him. Cause she actually, he's dumb. Brent Johnson's dumb. She's not dumb. She's not dumb. She just corrupt. Just corrupt.
A lawyer.
And a lawyer. Like my mom said, and a lawyer.
You know what they do?
She lied too. She lied too when it came to her promises. She said that if she got in office, anybody that had any lawsuits against the city, she would settle them. Yeah. Yeah. The migrants came on her watch. Yep.
We went down $1,500 on the ticket going down to this so I could go on them luncheons and stuff.
So I'm just saying,
And she also
she's
lax.
yes. They need to do an audit for her administration because that's where it starts at. The nerve to have Tiffany Hayner. They had Lori Lightfoot go out there for Tiffany Hayner and she charging $400. Girl, she just as corrupt. Weirdo. That was just crazy. Like, that was nuts. I'm like, how is she still out here? Why isn't she arrested? Like, she just moving. I seen her at the DNC looking drunk, about to walk into her wife that's tall as hell. They look crazy. They look real awkward. I don't know what's going on over there. But so I was talking about too when it comes to this eminent domain. A lot of projects like Invest Southwest or certain projects, eminent domain happens. And what I'm learning is, because I'm watching it, what they're doing in Harvey, they come to whatever block or whatever house. If it's a block, they're going to come to the block. If it's a house, they're going to come to the house. And they're going to get somebody to come and say that they're, whatever they need it for, or whatever, for instance, it was a retention ponds where in Harvey. It doesn't make any sense why they want to move these people right here and put this retention pond. But then when you look at it, they've been doing their research and knowing that everybody on that block is about 65 plus. The oldest one on that block, 89. They looking at, they don't have that long to go. We want to do whole development here because I don't know if you know, but a lot of illegals are moving out. They have pushed them out to Harvey. So a lot of Indians is out there in Harvey. Okay, they got a whole mosque out there. Okay, got Muslims out there and stuff. So they want that for to build some affordable housing, but they came with the uh, those houses or right there where they put the pond, just so happen to be where those houses are, will save 240 houses in Harvey that doesn't flood, while there's 5,400 abandoned buildings in Harvey alone. You need to be focused on them abandoned buildings, them drug overdoses that they have on there, or them the the drug addicts burning themselves up, burning up the whole abandoned building because they in there with too much fentanyl and whatever they got. They just blowing up now. I'm just trying to tell you that if that fentanyl came over here and really messed us up too, it's too many of, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're smoking crack. I don't know what it is, but they probably got that. And that probably, think about it. If they smoking crack and they lighten up the pipe, right? And the crack rock got fentanyl, like so much fentanyl in it, I could see them blowing up. That's probably what the problem is because they have too many. It gives The Wire. It gives The Corner. If you guys ever seen The Wire or The Corner, please like and subscribe. If you've ever seen the Wire and The Corner, that is what Harvey's giving you. So I don't understand how you thinking y'all going to try to use eminent domain, but sort of not use eminent domain. And Harvey looks like The Wire, The Corner. They could do a whole series right now in Harvey, and it will go on Hulu, Tubi. You could do a whole situation in Harvey. It's really mini. It's really giving mini Baltimore, mini Wire. Like it's nuts. But that's what they're doing, and they do that here. Say Chicago Heights is a mess too. I bet. And that's what they was trying to move them to, like Chicago Heights. When some of the people was like, well, I would like to move another place, they'd be like, well, no. They're giving people only $100,000 to move their whole life, and they've been living there since 1972. I'm trying to tell you, they think we stupid. They really think we stupid. That's why I'm shadow banned, because they know I'm not stupid. They know I'm not dumb. Okay, and they know a lot of people that listen to me ain't dumb, but they don't want too many other people listening to me. Okay, but like I say, I know I'm not. I know I'm not. But anyway, Chicago has a history of taking land for a very, very long time, and a lot of the land that they were using that was vacant. A lot of people question that, thinking, did the people own those lands? Did y'all just take the land like how y'all did us? A lot of people said. I talked to a guy maybe about 3 months ago. He said that the Whole Foods that was in Inglewood, that was part of his father's land. He never got paid for. So it's crazy, And then I think one of the other issues is the lack of black developers. In the black neighborhoods, I feel like, and the city of Chicago is known for being segregated. Everybody's okay with it and fine with it. I don't understand why the developers are not predominantly black in our neighborhoods. We got the money. We could do all this stuff. Even with these illegals that came over here, those was our workers. Why we can't pay them? These white people could pay them and do whatever, but when it come to us, y'all don't want to give us no money. Y'all don't want to give us a chance. Y'all don't want to give us no bids when it come to this housing situation in our communities. That don't make no sense. Who knows our communities better than us? Who know, like, how you trying to sit here and say, like, we can't do construction. We don't know how to do construction. We can't lead on these things. Like, nah. and then we don't have our alderman who was a very important person in government. They're the legislation. They're the ones who can really change all this. Don't speak up for us. Don't say nothing about it. Don't do nothing. We ain't got no representation. No representation. I was just thinking about how they can't even write a letter and say, you know what, we done seen Zoe's um, uh, evidence. We done sat and listened,
Yeah, but
you
nothing
know,
like
all that. And we really feel like, Mayor Brandon Johnson, you need to settle this case.
Common council.
Yeah, and common counsel. They can't write a letter for that.
They want to care about the taxpayers.
Yeah. But it's cool. You know, they so used to stealing our generational wealth, and then we stealing our generational wealth from each other. Because you got people like the 20 aldermen that won't say nothing. You just as bad. You just as bad. What's the purpose of you still being in office? Why you don't have any power. So why are you in office?
It's like grant.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. The wealthier developers from outside the community, they reap all the financial benefits, and we just be sitting there. They telling us about the mixed income and all of that stuff. They lying, talking about it's gonna be a mixed income, even when they go in there and have the people explain these developments in our community. It's always a white person that's explaining this and all this stuff, and they have their statistics and all this stuff when it comes to our community, like we science projects, and ain't nobody saying nothing. It's crazy. Rise in property taxes. We've been paying property taxes for how long? We raising our property tax. We paying property taxes for how long? And then they just take it. Just take it. Don't care. Well, I mean, don't care, and then say stuff like, "Well, did you pay your taxes?" What? Think I come here for? They just got it's the same script. It's the same script. But it's our fault because we continue to let them do stuff like this instead of being like, nah, that don't sound right. That don't make no sense. I don't know about that. You know, they just be selling us out. I know September 23rd, last year, September 23rd, me and Miss Jessica had our first news press conference. And Samantha Chapman came from ABC7, and Sade Gray came from CBS 6. Shout out to Samantha Chapman. And shout out to Sade Gray. But they pulled up. Sam, little young legend, little young baby legend. And she wanted us to talk about that Invest Southwest money. Because a lot of people wanted to know about that Invest Southwest money. Like, I know her dad is a baby boomer. He one of the coldest DJs, Sam Chapman. So I know like she probably was raised around, you know, a lot of older boomers that probably asked those questions. You know, what happened to that Southwest money? You know what? Because it started coming out right before COVID hit. So y'all really, huh?
And that Kenneth guy gave $1 million for Auburn Gresham to build affordable housing. $1 million, but she made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, and my mom said that Ken Griffin gave $1 million to build Auburn Gresham. But the Invest Southwest thing just first came. Like it just first like y'all was about to go on COVID, so I think that's why it stuck with people's mind. But one thing like Miss Jessica had said was for them to be sympathetic, because this is when the migrant crisis had first hit too. So he was like, for them to be sympathetic to their needs, saying it's a humanitarian issue crisis when black people have had a humanitarian crisis for housing, employment, and everything else. How do we get pushed to the back? You know, and one of the things she had said was the South Side has been under resourced and underfunded for years, for decades. We have schools that need to be reopened. And that is what people started talking about Invest Southwest again when Ms. Jessica said that. And then she was saying we are taxpayers, we are property owners. Our money should be going to our communities, not supporting people who haven't put a dime into our communities. You know, I had said, you know, we have no more room. You know, we have no time, no energy, and no resources. We have no money. You know, and I was saying, you know, y'all are embarrassing Chicago, which it was. It was like, how y'all just bring all these people in here and pushing us out and don't have anything for nobody else, but people you creating jobs, but not for jobs that's for the Chicago citizens. Y'all getting people from Texas and Florida, so everybody all playing this game with the money while we just sitting here watching it go down. You know, um, Ms. Jessica also said her response, you know, whether it's one shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, the South Side of Chicago is not made to house immigrants and non-citizens. We're saying the facilities are there for us. Use that money. Use the money. The money needs to be put into those facilities for us. And she's right. And when that was said, they had asked Mayor Johnson, what did he say? And Mayor Johnson says, we are committed to continued investment, because he loves to say that. We are committed to continued investment for all residents, but especially communities on the south and west side that have long experienced disinvestment. We are the city of Chicago, and our shoulders are big enough to support both new arrivals and those who have long called this city home. He, that's all he cared. He pledged allegiance to the new arrivals. The new arrivals that's the only thing he cared about. So, like Ms. Jessica said last year, Mayor Johnson, the black aldermen, alderwomen in this city, you will stand for the black citizens of Chicago. And that's true. You're gonna stand. And my thing is, if you're not gonna stand, you out of here. You out of office. Okay? Now, TIF money. I always be talking about TIF money because TIF money be the real problem, be the root of all this. But anyway, ex-alderman Kerry Austin will set to stand trial November 3rd, 2025, more than 4 years after indictment. Okay, now 38 members of the city council have been convicted of a crime since 1969. That's crazy. That's nuts. Former Alderman Kerry Austin, the 34th Ward, is scheduled to stand trial on November 3rd, 2025, for charges stemming from a federal bribery indictment filed in July 2021. She is accused of conspiring to accept personal home improvements from contractors in exchange for her influence over city development projects, including $49.6 million redevelopment in her ward. The project was eligible for over $10 million in tax increment financing, TIF funds, and other city payments, and Austin allegedly helped direct aldermanic menu funds to benefit the developers involved. Remember, I told you they get that $2 million, that 1.5, that $2 million in each of their wards. But anyway, the indictment details that Austin accepted items such as $5,250 worth of kitchen cabinets, sump pumps, a dehumidifier, bathroom tiles, and granite countertops.
Somebody
These
better tell
benefits,
on her.
Mom, I am on a whole thing. These benefits were allegedly provided by contractors who sought her assistance in securing TIF funds and infrastructure improvements for their projects. Additionally, her chief of staff, Chester Wilson Jr., is charged with similar offenses, including theft related to misuse of SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assisted Program benefits. Man. All right, SNAP. The case underscores longstanding concerns about the misuse of public resources and TIF funds in Chicago, which people argue and often prioritize developers over community needs. This trial will, where's it called? Where we at? This trial debates about corruption accountability in Chicago city government, especially given Austin's former role as a long-serving alderman and chair of the city council budget committee under multiple mayors. Okay? The details surrounding the indictment of former alderman Kerry Austin reveal deep concerns about corruption tied to tax increment financing and the use of public funds in Chicago. This situation underscores systematic issues in how public development initiatives, such as those in TIF districts, can be manipulated for personal gain at the expense of community trust and equity. Okay? The Austin indictment highlights how TIF funds intended for public development and revitalization, I can't, that's a word, I'm a little, can be diverted or misused through corrupt practices. Revitalization, right. Automatic involvement in approving or overseeing TIF funds projects open doors for quid pro quo arrangements where developers develop personal benefits in exchange for favorable treatment. They be selling us out. They be selling us out.
Well, they should be, if they're gonna do that stuff.
Now, allegations of Austin, Mom, I know I'm on live. Allegations of Austin accepted gifts such as kitchen cabinets, sump pumps, and tiles in exchange for supporting developers' project erode trust in city officials. Okay, the misuse of power undermines the legitimacy of TIF districts, which are already criticized for their financial management. I'll try to tell you, that was Daley's piggy bank, okay? And that's what they do. TIF money diverted for public good. The TIF money, the $10 million from the area's TIF district, could have been used for much needed infrastructure improvements, affordable housing, small business support, but instead, she used the money for something else. That's that TIF money. The corruption is going to continue to happen in the black communities because we keep getting sold out. Okay, for their personal gains and community-driven development projects that aren't for the community. Okay, the automatic menu fund is where they have money in there for infrastructure improvements in the ward, but they use that money for something else. Okay, they all get the same amount of money. Look at our wards, y'all. Look at the black wards. What y'all doing with this money? It's wild. It's a wild game. It's a wild game. $49.6 million redevelopment project in Austin had the potential to revitalize a long neglected community, but its association with corruption scandals like Kerry Austin raises serious concerns about governance because they don't know how to govern nobody. Equity and accountability. For initiatives like Invest Southwest to succeed, Chicago must address systematic corruption, prioritize community-led development, and ensure that black neighborhoods truly benefit from these investments. But in order for you to do that, you have to get rid of the Negroes that are in there now. These Negroes cannot do anything for us. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it. This is the first time that they clueless. They don't know what to do. They're not even sleeping at night. Okay, they don't know what to do tomorrow. Okay, because if they vote for this budget, they know they're out of there. They know they're out of there. Now, Lori Lightfoot and Ken Griffin had a notable relationship during her tenure as mayor of Chicago. Ken Griffin, he's a billionaire and CEO of Citadel. He made substantial contributions to the city, including a $4.75 million donation to 2020 to repair the iconic lakefront trail damaged by storms. Lightfoot praised Griffin's efforts as significant to preserving key city resources. Griffin also previously donated $12 million for lakefront improvements in 2016. Despite these gestures, Griffin later became critical of Chicago's governance, citing concerns about crime and public safety, which influenced his relocation to Florida in 2022. His whole business went. As of April 2023, Ken Griffin is estimated to be worth $35 billion, making him one of the wealthiest individuals globally. He has donated over $1.5 billion to charitable causes, primarily focused on education, economic mobility, and medical research. His generosity earned him recognition on Forbes' list of the United States' most generous givers. Griffin is also ranked highly among the wealthiest individuals in the world. Now, during 2007 and 2008 financial crisis, a lot of people know about this financial crisis in 2007, 2008. A lot of mortgages, it was going crazy. Yeah, Obama was the president. Kamala Harris was the Attorney General of California. Just letting y'all get that in your mind. All right. During 2007, 2008 financial crisis, Ken Griffin's business faced significant losses with some funds dropping by 55%. To mitigate further damage, Griffin restricted investors from withdrawing funds for 10 months. Despite the difficulties, the firm rebounded in 2009 with a 62% return, showcasing its greatness after the crisis. Now, he left in 2022 this time, and I'll tell you why he left. Y'all was still locked down, okay, in 2022. His business was losing money because y'all was locked down. And he already seen what happened with the 2007, 2008 financial crisis. And he was able to rebound because a lot of people didn't rebound after 2007, 2008 financial crisis. And again, okay, he was able to bounce back, and he saw that again. And he said, hell no. So he went to Florida, where Florida was open. Florida was open. Texas was open. Texas, Georgia was open, because I told you I was living in Georgia. So I believe that's why he left. He left. I mean, the crime is here. He left because their business wasn't making no money, and y'all was shut down because the the people in there were stealing the Invest Southwest money. They were stealing the COVID money. Public health was stealing epidemiology money. It was just going down. Everybody was stealing money. Y'all was sitting in the house, losing businesses, talking to yourselves while everybody else is, So yeah, it was crazy. And by the time y'all did get out of jail, because that's what y'all was in, he left. Got up out of here. He was business is business, baby. And he is a Republican. So in November 2021, Ken Griffin outbidded a group of crypto investors to purchase the last privately held copy of the U.S. Constitution for $43.2 million. Griffin stated his intention to make the document. Man, you don't see me talking? Griffin stated his intention to make the document publicly accessible with plans to display it at the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Arkansas. All Americans and visitors to appreciate it. You gotta go all the way to to Arkansas to see it. But he spent $43.2 million on the last privately held copy of the U.S. Constitution. Okay? In July 2022, he donated $130 million to Chicago nonprofits before his move to Florida. In May of 2022, Ken Griffin donated $25 million to the University of Chicago to establish 2 community safety initiatives, the Policing Management Academy, and second, to address neighborhood violence. This follows his previous $10 million contribution to the Crime Lab in 2018, aimed at enhancing police accountability and using data to prevent crime through early intervention systems. Now, he done spent a total of $35 million, and he probably was trying to figure out, now, if I'm giving this type of money to try to save the community safety, and I'm here to try to address the violence and stuff like that, and my money's not going to that, I'm also going to leave because, again, all these people be getting this violence prevention money and this money to prevent the violence in our communities and stuff, while y'all still dropping off guns and switches in the dumpsters and on the freight trains. Y'all don't want no community safety, and he ain't dumb. He said he put $35 million in this. He just said this doesn't make any sense. $35 million is a lot of money. Okay? So that's you got to think about that. Now, Ken Griffin has expressed strong political views, aligning himself with Ronald Reagan's conservative ideals. He has criticized the belief that larger government fosters prosperity, favoring free markets and smaller government. Griffin admires figures like Scott Walker for their stance on economic policies. He has also shown support for Donald Trump's tax and health care reforms. Additionally, his investments, such as McDonald's shares, have drawn attention from protesters advocating for higher minimum wages. Okay, in 2018, Ken Griffin was appointed National Finance Chair for the new Republican PAC, supporting Rick Scott's Super PAC. Later that year, Griffin publicly criticized President Trump's tweet targeting Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, calling them completely inappropriate for a U.S. president. This reflects Griffin's tendency to take independent stances even with conservative circles. I do like that. Independent stances, even with conservative circles. That right there, that's what everybody should be like.
Yeah.
Everybody should be like that.
Right.
In September 2020, Ken Griffin opposed Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's fair tax proposal, which aimed to change the state's flat income tax to a graduated one. Griffin also criticized Pritzker's tax plan in an email to Citadel employees, suggesting the company might leave Illinois. Additionally, in an interview with Paul Tudor Jones at the Robin Hood Foundation Investor Conference, Griffin criticized Joe Biden's proposal to raise long-term capital gain tax rates. In 2020, Ken Griffin donated a total of $53.75 million to the coalition to stop the proposed tax hike amendment, which opposed Illinois' fair tax proposal. Additionally, he contributed $2 million to an anti-retention campaign against Justice Thomas L. Kilbride, a Democratic member of the Illinois Supreme Court. Ken Griffin supported several candidates in 2024 election cycle. He contributed $5 million to Nikki Haley's presidential campaign and donated $10 million to David McCormick's Senate race, along with $5 million to Tim Sheehy's million to David McCormick's Senate race, along with $5 million to Tim Sheehy's Senate campaign. In addition, in August 2024, Griffin donated $12 million to oppose a proposed amendment to legalize recreation cannabis in Florida. Whoa down. That's where it gets trying to trick you at. What you talking about, Ken? So the proposed amendment in Florida, it was the aim to legalize recreation of cannabis. This amendment would have legalized the possession and use of marijuana for adults 21 years and older. Griffin's financial support was part of an effort to block the legalization measure ahead of the vote. Now that's what you talking about. What you doing? So, after the October 7, 2023 attacks by Hamas on Israel, Kevin Griffin pressured Harvard University leadership to condemn the 30 student groups that signed the letter critical of Israel. He also supported Bill Ackman's stance against hiring students from those groups. Later in January and May 2024, Griffin criticized Harvard's focus on microaggressions and DEI, urging the university to prioritize educating future leaders and problem solvers while defending Western values. See, this is where the situation with Harvard irritates me when it goes to Claudine Gay to step down. She shouldn't have stepped down. Okay? There was a story today that Miss Jessica told me. And the story that Miss Jessica told me today, she said when she was in college at Howard, and Marion Barry was the mayor, and that's when Ronald Reagan got in office, and the Ku Klux Klan said that they was going down there to march in D.C. And she said she felt some type of way, you know. She called her mom, she called her grandma, you know. And she said, this is her in college. So she was like, this is not no 1950s, 60s. This is me in college. I'm at Howard University. So she said she told her mom and stuff she was going to stay back. She wasn't going to go home for the holidays. This was around Thanksgiving. And she said that when she decided so Marion Barry tells them that I know that, you know, it's bothering y'all, you know, that they're coming down here and I know it makes you mad, you know, I'm black too. And, you know, but the U.S. Constitution, that's their First Amendment. They have every right to march. They have every right to do that. This is what they have, you know, this is the Constitution. You got to go by the Constitution. So she says that the day that they planned on, the Ku Klux Klan planned to come march in D.C., she said she had went up to where the rally started at, and she said it was all these black people. She said, all these black people. She said, now, not Howard black people. They had left and went home for the weekend and stuff like this, right? This chocolate city, this DC, right? So she said they all DC is outside. They said they got the police out there with the barricades and all that stuff, but it's a whole bunch of black people. Up at the hill, that's where all the Ku Klux Klan is. They just getting off their buses, right? She said they broke through them barricades, and started running up the hill. She said them Ku Klux Klan ran so fast back to their buses. She said she ain't never seen that. She said they was running so fast. She said they couldn't leave fast enough. She said they couldn't leave fast enough.
Put that on TV.
Okay? They ain't tell us that. They ain't tell us that. Okay? Right. Okay, they ain't tell us that. I need some. She said the media was there. We need the footage of that. Pull up the footage. Yeah, they ain't gonna show us that. 'Cause they got some footage of it. Them white hippies and stuff that was in that media that was for us and for that. They got that stuff. They got it. They got it. Okay? That right there. She said she went home. She went back to her dorm, called her mother and grandmother. She said they was cracking up on the phone, running. They ran back with them sheets and everything, tripping over their gowns, to get back to the buses, tripping over the gowns. Yeah.
Put that in the news.
Yeah, let you know about that. Yeah. So, like Mr. Johnson say, so try that now. Okay? Try that. Ain't nobody playing. So, yeah. So, they is on it. Okay, Ms. Jackson, Jessica said, they ran up that hill into the barricades. They bust through them barricades. Man. That's what they did. Ran back. Imagine that. Imagine that ride back home. That conversation. Well, Billy boy, what happened? What happened? I think they're supposed to be scared of the niggers. What happened? How you just let them go? How you just do that? How? We were up there running strong. Yeah. Ain't nobody playing with these people. And mad as hell they got home today. To their wives and stuff. Putting their sheet down. Got untie that rope that they got. Take it off. Go hang it up. Defeated. They was down there. They had their music and stuff. They had their music and stuff ready for us. Coming for the niggers, coming. They was coming. They was ready. They was ready for us. Right. But Chocolate City, that's why I love D.C. I forever love D.C. Chocolate City wasn't going. They had their go-go on. They probably had Chuck Brown at the bottom of it. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah. EU and them probably had Rare Essence playing. Yeah, well, ain't nobody playing with them. They had the go-go music playing. Right. Like she told me today. She said they was for Dr. King's to get that federal holiday off. He said Diane Ross and Stevie Wonder used to lead that march in D.C. until they gave us Dr. King's federal holiday. Now that was Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder led that march. She said people was she was like January 15th, people was already being absent because it's Dr. King's day, but they wanted it as a federal holiday and they would march until they gave it to them. Like that's a big thing. But back to Ken Griffin. So in July 2014, Ken Griffin filed for divorce from Anna Diaz Griffin. Okay, their prenuptial agreement included $22.5 million payment at the start of their marriage and $1 million annually. You know how much money this man got? She also received a payment at the start of their marriage. She also received $37 million in cash and 50% of their Chicago penthouse. Diaz Griffin claimed she was forced to sign the agreement and sought extravagant child support payments, including private jet travel and office staff. The couple settled the divorce out of court in October 2015, with Griff buying out her share of the penthouse for $11.75 million, and they maintain joint custody of their children. That is the penthouse that Pritzker just bought. It's been in the news like for the last week. He's also an art collector as well, and like a smart art collector. Like he knows the type of art to get. So Ken Griffin, he purchased Andy Warhol's Orange, Maryland for approximately $200 million. Then in 2020, he acquired Basquiat's Boy and a Dog, a Johnny Pop for over $100 million. He loaned the Basquiat painting to the Art Institute of Chicago, where they have it on public display. Please understand, art is real estate. We are art. We are art. Chicago lost their big spender, Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin was a big spender. Ken Griffin loved Chicago too. Ken Griffin was putting money in the lakefront. He wanted that name. He was putting money in the lakefront. That guy right now, I would love to have a conversation with Ken, and I would just love to know what he thinks about what's going on right now in Chicago, how we're losing everything. Yes, he did warn them. He sure did. He got up out. Yep, he sure did. So yeah, that's a big one, man. That's a big one. But you gotta sit here. It makes me mad every time I see Lori Lightfoot and people say that she was better than Brandon Johnson. Hell no. She was worse and dangerous. Dangerous. No. No, no, no. No. So yeah. That's how I feel about tonight. Now tomorrow is City Council, December 2nd, 10 a.m. Okay?
How did it start? Was it bats? Was it
And they better not pass this budget. I do know that. Yeah, she's dangerous. She's dangerous. They are not. They messed up. The Chicago went from like it just went bad. Like Daley, don't get me wrong, Daley belongs right next to Ed Burke. He really does. You know, and Ron Manuel, he trashed too. He was terrible too. There was a lot of eminent domains on his block, on his time when he was mayor too. He was stealing land and knocking and shutting down everything, schools, mental health. He was doing whatever. He was trying to go ahead and give basically the city to the Jews, to the developers. We was gonna have nothing. They all been terrible. They absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible. And I hate to say it, but it falls on Brandon Johnson, whatever's gonna probably happen, but not too much. It's just he's just probably gonna get in trouble with the CTU because there was money laundering through CTU. Probably gonna get in trouble when it comes to the migrant money, and then them housing bonds. If they look at who got the housing bonds, because he don't know what he's doing, and he got people around him that don't know what he's doing. They can't organize anything. They say they come from an organizer background. They can't organize. They're disorganized. Everybody disorganized. He's having panic attacks. He don't know what to do. Okay? It's messed up, man. So we voting this time. We getting prepared. We're gonna start doing our homework. And yeah, it's Kanye for mayor. I'm just saying that right now. I thought we'll give me a shirt to say Kanye for mayor. But he also know about Rom and them. He knew how terrible they were. He knew how Rom messed up the city, like Ari messed up Hollywood. Yeah, that's how that works. So, hope I see y'all tomorrow. We're going to talk about what happened at City Council, voting a white mayor. Look, it ain't going to be no kick the can. We're going to figure out. We're going to figure out who's going to be mayor. Okay? We'll figure out who going to get some infrastructure money over here to the south side and west side. Who doing audits? Who going to make sure we got what we need over here? We got the jobs. We got all that. I don't know. So we don't know who it's going to be. Right. Who ain't worried about, who ain't going to be talking about no property taxes, raising property taxes, raising taxes. There's going to be fair debates. It's going to definitely be fair debates. So, that's that good stuff. That's that peace. That's that peace. So, yeah. So. Donald Trump don't need no money for no attorney. Donald Trump is fine. Now, Rudy Giuliani, that's something different. But Rudy Giuliani, he owed my mother some money too. Because she went in there when it came to Jack Jordan, and he flew her, my aunt down there, and all that stuff. He still ain't paid my mother. So, no. He needs some information on, what's his name? Jack Jordan. Yeah. So yeah, Trump don't need anything. Rudy Giuliani, yeah, he might need something. Rudy Giuliani is out here bad. He's down bad. But that don't got nothing to do with. It might be his karma. That might be his karma. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Rudy Giuliani. But I know he say he can't get no taxi. He can't get nothing right now. I asked Rudy Giuliani what was his Cash App. He never got back to me, so I was going to send him some taxi money. Don't want him out here. That is Rudy Giuliani. That is Rudy. So. I hope he's bringing everybody here he can bring in to get him up out of here. Right. Clean the voter rolls. Problem solved. Yeah, we got it. Everything good. We know what's going to happen. we know what it is, but it's time to take over Chicago, 2026, 2027. Okay, we gonna control what's going on in there. That's what we on. That's what we're on. You know. Thank y'all for coming back, because they didn't have me shadow banned in the beginning, but now I start to see my numbers starting to get lower and lower. And I was like, oh, okay. It is what it is. So yes, all right. I'll see y'all later.